Hey, it's been a while. This is Gachiakuta, a series that I'm sure you've seen artwork from before, but on the off chance that you haven't, holy fuck, the line art, the character expressions, the angles, the perspective, oh my... Yeah, it's good, but hold your horses now. Is this series solely propped up on this artwork? The incredible artwork? Or is it more than that? Come with me as we dive into the first 2 volumes of Gachiakuta to find out the answer to this question.
With them man there, from the hood but we move different. That's why them man just stare, yeah, but we don't care. With them man there, take time, keep your distance. A misfit but man move smoky. Better watch how you move round here.
The series opens on a colour page. It is said that soul dwells in things that are cherished. Then, what dwells in a trash that has been discarded? We see a young girl fretting over a small, torn rabbit, with her mother telling her that she should throw it away and that they can always buy a new one. The girl abides by what her mother says, and we then see the rabbit thrown away into a trash heap. Though, as the wastage lorries enter their bay, we see somebody looking over the site. A guard hears noises as he goes to inspect the room in which the rubbish is being held, in which he sees a hooded figure sorting through it. In shock, he calls for reinforcements, but the hooded figure manages to escape, dodging all but one bullet which hits him in the arm. The guards all rush past as the hooded figure hides, saying locate that trash vandal at all costs. Though revealing his face, our main character says, I'm not a vandal, you shitheads. And it's revealed that he managed to secure the bunny that girl had thrown away. In some suburbs we see this, oh my god, we see this cool design walking through. And back to his own side of the town, with the people watching him saying I hope they won't ever come back here. Instantly what this does is set up a really nice divide, with the panelling here instantly showing the different living conditions of these 2 sides of the town. We have the slums, where Recto, this character we've just seen, is from, and the suburbia, which has already been characterised by greed and the lack of care for little things. Though it's shown that injustice exists on both sides of this wall, with Rudo, our MC who just stole the bunny rabbit, talking to his crush Chiwa, who the rabbit is for. As he does so, a group of bullies come up to him, insulting him, the gloves he is wearing, and his father, who is revealed to be a murderer that got this town separated in the first place. But with one look, Rudo manages to scare off these 3 kids. And Chiwa offers him some really nice reassurance, saying that she believes in him and that he's not like those bad guys who kill people. She does see the rabbit and Rudo is about to give it to her before she's called off by her mum, characterising Rudo as somebody who is physically strong but easily emotional and nervous, oftentimes doubting himself, much to the bemusement of his guardian, Recto, the black-haired man that we saw walking through the suburbia earlier. Some of the panelling here is absolutely incredible as well, I need to point this out more. Okay, save me talking about it every single time that I see one of these amazing panels. I'm going to have a little visual indicator to show how good it is. But as we get further into the chapter, we do see these 2 having a bit of banter back and forth, with Recto being honest, harsh and caring of Rudo. Recto revealing that Rudo's father was also thrown into this world, and that that's why you must value yourself and the things important to you, even in a world as shitty as this, as he offers Rudo his gloves back. Which it is then revealed that these gloves are in fact given to him by Recto, and that he cherishes them deeply because of this. Then we see a masked, hooded figure listening into their conversation, lurking in the darkness outside. Overlooking the abyss next to their slums, Rudo thinks to himself, apparently, the abyss is a huge dump site. All trash is eventually thrown into the abyss, even those who have committed crimes. My old man was swallowed by the darkness too, at least that's what I heard. Which the phrasing of this does make me think that this is foreshadowing something in the future. I don't actually think that Rudo was thrown from the sphere like this. It just does seem like it is setting up some type of mystery. Chiwa finds Rudo looking into the abyss and through a slip of the tongue reveals that she does have feelings for him. In exchange, Rudo gives her the rabbit he managed to find, with her claiming that she will cherish it until the day she dies. As Rudo runs home to tell Recto of his achievements, he runs into the hooded figure from before, who is now covered in blood. He picks up a book that he dropped when he ran into Rudo and runs back off, giving no indication of who he is or what the book was. As Rudo comes back into his house and envisions Recto greeting him, he finds his almost dead body. As he clutches at him, pleading, Recto shouts at him, demanding him to run.
These games before! I said I played these games before!
wishing for him to change this shitty world. The police tase Rudo and detain him, believing he is the one to murder Regto, although the way this is framed does seem like it was set up, as if Regto knew something or possessed something that they didn't want found out. Refusing to hear him out, Rudo is hung over the abyss, with the rest of the town watching on, including Chiwa. She says that she trusted him, but in the end, he really was just the son of a murderer, as she drops the rabbit. Just before he's dropped into the abyss, in the swirling mass of faces, he sees the masked figure again, with a smile spread across his face. As he's dropped, he declares, "I'll send you to hell. All of you, every one of you. I will kill you." Then, as he's plunged into darkness, he wakes up on a mound of trash. Towering over him, a monster, whose art style is very reminiscent of the type of monsters I'd see in Promised Neverland, which I think is a really cool design of making things look creepy. But with that concludes the first chapter. Rudo attempts to run away as more monsters show up, before he remembers Regto's dying moments. Then, he decides to fight back, vowing that he'll beat them to death. Brandishing a pipe and tarpaulin, he manages to do some damage, before a man with an umbrella stops debris from hitting him. He reveals that they are in fact not underground, calling Rudo a sky person. Using his umbrella, which transforms, he manages to take out all of the beasts at once. Rudo asks who he is before he reveals that his name is Engine, taking off his mask, revealing yet another cool design. Engine then captures Rudo and hands him over to some scavengers, who attempts to feed him rubbish and belittle him for all of the rubbish that the sky people have dropped on them. But as one of them goes to force feed Rudo, he bites off his fingers, remembering all of the people that have wronged him up until that point, activating his powers. Using the soul imbued into his gloves, he manipulates the objects around him and defeats the scavengers. Upon seeing this, Engine offers Rudo a place among the cleaners, the group that he is a part of. An obscured figure on a rooftop receives a call from Engine, with him stating that he's found a prodigy. Saying that he'll see the person that he's calling soon, he returns back to his present. It's revealed that he's with Rudo being patched up by one of the cleaners' doctors, who just so happens to be a lady. As the two sit and eat, Rudo thinks introspectively to himself, "The abyss, I thought it was entirely made out of garbage down here. I had no idea there was such a thing as a proper town and food." It's in this conversation that Engine reveals what the trash beasts actually are. He says that along with the garbage down here, various emotions, thoughts accumulate easy. At some point they transform into energy and cause various phenomena, one of which is the formation of abhorrent beasts. The same beast that attacked Rudo when he first dropped. He then reveals that if a person uses an object for many years and treats it with care wholeheartedly, a thought will dwell in it, which is what happened with Rudo's gloves, granting him the power that he used to defeat the bandits. It's in this conversation that he also reveals that he has absolutely no idea how Rudo can get back up to the sphere, which is also what they call Rudo's home. But Engine does give Rudo hope by saying that his boss might be able to figure out a way to get him back up there. Engine also remarks that the gloves Rudo are wearing are nice gloves with a soul, so he should always cherish them. This sparks something in Rudo, as he thinks back to all the times they were discouraged up top. He gives Rudo some money in a small bag before a cat picks it up and runs off with it down an alleyway. Trying to catch it, Rudo picks up a stick peeking out of the nearby alley, trapping it and getting back the bag before the person whose stick it was chases him down, with us recognising him as the same person that Engine called earlier. Through a misunderstanding, the cleaner whose stick it was threatens Rudo, with the two engaging in battle. This also coincides with the end of Volume 1, which so far I think does a really good job of introducing us to this world and series. The world building immediately for the sphere itself is already really good, though as we go further down obviously into the abyss where Rudo is currently stranded, the world building just continues, and it does get you actually really invested in what is going on in this world, as we're discovering things through the lens of Rudo himself. It's almost isekai-esque in the way that it handles it, and obviously the artwork itself does really aid the reading process. There isn't one bad thing I can say about it. But we go on to Volume 2, where we start to get more and more into this world and things begin to pick up narratively. Volume 2 starts, and so does the fight between this man and Rudo. It's immediately obvious who has the upper hand, and Zanka, who this character introduces himself as, lectures Rudo and eventually comes to somewhat of an understanding, realising he overreacted and tries his best to patch up the situation. However, due to Rudo's lacking social skills, he does give Zanka the wrong idea, giving off both a menacing and mocking smile to him. This aggravates Zanka, who thinks that Rudo's mocking him, and the two have a back and forth. As Zanka questions Rudo's goal, the fight begins again, with him realising that anything he touches turns into a weapon. Though using his staff, Zanka does manage to get a number of hits in on Rudo, knocking him down before Rudo uses a plunger to defeat him by making him run off. But interrupting the two is Engine, who pulls up in his jeep, laughing at the two before praising Zanka. Though in the back of the truck is another new character, Rio, who begins playing with Rudo's hair much to his shock. The jeep that the guys were in arrives at the cleaner's headquarters, with the receptionist judging Rudo's abilities and potentials through her glasses. Though she does see something that shocks her. Something that we don't fully get to see just yet. Engine takes Rudo to do a meet and greet at the team, only to discover that almost every single cleaner is there, saving it for later and instead prioritising Rudo meeting the boss, who in fact isn't there. It's then that Rio brings up the idea that Rudo can watch them do their work to get an idea of what they do, which is in fact what the next few chapters cover. The group arrive at a contamination zone, with the goal of neutralising a number of trash beasts. Rudo notices that they kind of look like animals, resembling bulls or goats. As Rudo starts panicking, Rio reassures him that to live down here is important to have an easy mind, until the biggest trash beast we've seen up until this point makes his appearance. Rudo is still in shock as Rio takes this opportunity to have a fight, being the brazen type to be fired up by strong opponents. It's revealed that her weapon of choice is scissors, that she uses with her feet to defeat her opponents. She begins taking out a number of the bull types, with her backup aiding her and saving Rudo from one. Though when one of these backup members is almost defeated by a trash beast as well, Rudo steps up using his abilities to fend him off and save the member of the cleaners. Rio notices at this point that the massive trash beast she's fighting is not disappearing no matter how many times she cuts it. It's here that we cut away to the bandits that captured Rudo once he fell down from the sphere. They've been captured by a hooded figure who questions them on where the sky person went, before we cut back to the battlefield. Rio eventually does defeat the massive trash beast, with her backup again helping Rudo, explaining what they do and what the cleaners do, as Rio finally puts the creature to rest, discovering that inside its core was a vital instrument. Something that is not normal for these creatures. The cleaners celebrate in one of my favourite chapters up until this point. Rudo is depressed after he couldn't do much in the fight, with Rio treating the party as almost like an induction for Rudo. It's at this point that Rudo has a conversation with Gris Lubion, the backup member of the cleaners that saved him during the fight. He questions him on what his motivations are, saying there must be something you've always wanted to do. What is it? Before you came to the ground, before whatever brought you here happened, something that made you think, I want to do that. Start by reminding yourself of that. Go back to the beginning. When you do, it'll just come naturally. You'll know what you need to do next. Have faith in yourself. I mean, they dropped you on the ground, but you're still alive. That counts for something. This touches Rudo as he decides to give in to the celebrations, the panelling showing that he is clearly connected with the people here so far. But just as this is happening, we see the hooded character from before discovering who the Sky Person is, clearly homing in on Rudo and his location. A group of Zanka, Gris and Rudo are then sent on a mission to discover a Sky Person that has been reported to be held captive by a trash beast. Once they get to the location though, it's revealed that it's a trap set by raiders, who begin to attack. Zanka takes them on, with the others going ahead to find an exit and get back up to the surface. The female raider has an ability to warp puppets out of the concrete of the floor, with the other raider having the ability to retain his footing under these conditions, landing a number of hits on Zanka, before he figures out their ability and uses his vital instrument to swiftly defeat them. But just as he does, the hooded figure from before appears behind him, in the final page of the volume. And so, that ends Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Gachiakuta. So far, I think that this is one of the best starts to a shonen series that I have read. This could be recency bias, or the fact that I haven't read a good start to a shonen in a while, but the characters, the power system, the world itself, and the mystery of all of this is actually really gripping, and I can feel myself wanting to make a series out of this, going through 2 volumes at a time or more. In the comments if you know any other series like Gachiakuta that you think I should check out, let me know. But for the time being, I am going to carry on with this series. I have Volume 3 and Volume 4 right in front of me right now, just waiting to be cracked open. But yeah, to answer the question that I did pose at the beginning of the video, I don't think that it's fully carried by the art. The art is absolutely incredible, which I'm sure you're well aware I think at this point, but the story is also up there as well, and I think that they both go hand in hand. But that is the end of this video. I hope you do look forward to more in the future.